I am back again to be discussing Jaclyn Hill's second attempt at explaining her alcohol problem. Apparently, on the previous video, she got a bunch of comments talking about her problem because obviously, you make a video, you're gonna get a response. And she basically didn't like that response, which is not surprising. And then she explains to the audience that despite the fact that the majority of people who watched that video were ex-addicts and understand exactly what she's experiencing, decides to tell us that we don't know what's going on, we can't diagnose her, and she knows exactly what's happening while she is in addiction. Like, you're in active addiction and you think you know more about what's going on than the people who are sober, which is just amazing to think about. I mean, you would never ask a drunk person to give testimony, right? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you're in active addiction, you can't possibly understand what's going on with you in this moment. So anyways, we're just gonna get into it. Parts of the video are not very relevant to her alcoholism, so those parts I will cut out. I know my other video was like super long, so I'm really gonna try to cut this video down. So let's just get started.
Before diving into everything this video has to offer, I wanted to just honestly take a second in the intro to talk to you about something and open up just a little bit, because I just want to keep it real with you all the way. This journey has been extremely difficult for me. And what I mean by that is not what I'm actually doing, but the recording process. Now, don't get me wrong. I have enjoyed it. I'm not over here like, I can't do it anymore, nothing like that. I took a little step back from recording and like that process in December over the holidays, but I am really thoroughly enjoying it. But it is so difficult. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that you guys watching these videos understand how it is from my perspective to film these things, to put myself out there the way I do, in the sense of I am uploading these videos, showing myself at my absolute rawest, most vulnerable, crying, discussing weight, showing myself in an area of my life that I'm so unhappy about and I'm so not proud of, feeling like a failure. The list goes on and on, exposing myself for having an alcohol problem. And I am not just posting that for you who's watching this, I am posting that for anyone in the entire world to see, knowing that when I go to dinner in an hour, I am probably going to bump into a subscriber and they are going to know, oh yeah, Jaclyn is trying to lose weight and trying to better herself and currently going to therapy and also has an alcohol problem. Like, I'm putting myself out there so much for so many people, to the point that like ex-boyfriends of mine can watch these videos. People who hated and bullied me in high school can watch these videos and be like, oh damn, she looks terrible. Oh yeah, look at her now. Like, now she's got an alcohol issue. Like, I'm putting myself out there in such a vulnerable, raw way, and it is not fun and it is not easy, but I am doing it and I'm continuing to do it because of the fact that I know from the amount of DMs and comments and even mail that I get, that I receive in my PO box, and the emails that I receive, how many people I am helping by.
All right, you guys. So, two things. First, she's like, well, I'm being so vulnerable. All these people are going to know about whatever I'm saying because I'm posting it to YouTube and I'm this big YouTube celebrity. And I'm like, yes, I understand that. But I'm also like, you're a YouTube celebrity. You're going to have supporters that are going to support you no matter what you do. Like, there are people who literally in the comments, like, it doesn't matter what she says. It doesn't matter how fucked up her way of dealing with her alcoholism is. They're always going to support her. And they're always going to sit there and tell her that what she's doing is right. And so it's like, for me, it's like, I don't really feel that bad for her that like, oh my God, all these people know, because it's like, in the end, you're always going to have your support system. Whereas normal people don't have a support system of people that always think they're right and will always agree with them and always understand them. Second of all, she's now going to go into how she's helping people by posting these videos, and that's why she's doing it, even though she doesn't have to do it. And, normally, if you were serious about cutting down your drinking and, like, actually helping yourself, I would be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The problem is, She's taking her celebrity status and she's using that to hurt other people because she's not following any steps that are reasonable to actually help herself. So, what's going to happen? People are going to watch the video and they're going to think, oh, I should listen to Jaclyn because she says that I should do this and that I shouldn't worry if I'm drinking in the morning, and that I should do this, this, and that. And they're going to think that that is correct because Jaclyn said that it wasn't a big problem and they shouldn't go to rehab. And so that's my problem, is when you're coming on here as a celebrity and then you're saying all these things, and people are going to take that as the truth and as fact. And that is the problem, is you're hurting people when you're doing that. You're not helping them. If you want to help people, then please go do your research, go look up things, go figure it out, go to a therapist who specializes in alcoholism, who you didn't pay millions of dollars to tell you whatever you want to hear. Like, okay, fucking go, actually do what you have to do, and then come back here and tell the truth and tell things how they are. Because right now, she's not doing that, and she's gonna hurt people who are gonna believe her. And I know that what she's saying is bullshit, but guess what? Most people aren't watching my video. They're watching her video. And now they're gonna believe her, not the truth. And that's sad.
So honest and so open. With that being said, my last video that I posted, I actually had to turn off the comments. I only turned them off for like 6 hours because I needed a break. I needed to breathe. There were some comments on there that really bothered me, which has not happened in years. I typically will see like the meanest comments and I don't care. I'll laugh it off, or I might like repost it, like sharing how crazy some people can be, but like this actually bothered me.
Okay, so the reason that it bothered her is because she knows it's true. That's the thing. Is people don't get it. It's like, when you have other kinds of comments on typical videos, it's like, it's not true. They're just saying it to like make you feel bad. Okay? Here it's like, she knows it's true. She knows she's wrong. She knows she's not approaching this the way she needs to be approaching it. So she's mad because they're telling her the truth and she doesn't want to hear it. Like, that's on you, boo.
I'm not going to really get too in depth about it, but the past 2 episodes has been all about alcohol pretty much, and just the amount of people just really like trying to diagnose me with a lot of different things, really telling me like what my issue is and what I need, and as if they are my doctor, as if they have like my blood panel, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so before we listen to her stupid fucking rant, she sits here and she gets all offended because people want to diagnose her. I'm like, okay, boo-boo. The problem is, if you're gonna come online and talk about something, you better fucking be ready for people to diagnose you. You're sitting there and you're saying all these things and you don't want to hear from people and you don't want to hear the truth and you don't want to hear people's comments, then don't post it. And then there's this myth that you can't diagnose people if you don't have a body camera of their life. And that's just like complete bullshit. She says all the things that she said in that one video previously are plenty to diagnose her with alcoholism and an alcohol use disorder, which is technically what it's called. So she is simply unaware, apparently, that there's something called the DSM. It's a diagnostic manual. So you can look at that. You can look at the list of things and the list of problems that she has. And you can go down the list and you can find and check off the things that usually it only requires a few things on that list for someone to be an alcoholic. That is not me trying to be your doctor. That is me looking at the facts, looking at a diagnostic manual that doctors use, and determining based on what you said in your video, which you could easily say in a meeting with a doctor, that you have this problem. If those things you said in the video are false, then you shouldn't have said them. But if they're true, then you need to face the fact that you meet the criteria for a certain thing. And unlike cancer or certain things that are a little bit more anxiety disorders, things like that, where you really can't diagnose a person because A, they would have to be 100% sober, and B, there's just no real way that you can tell. Like cancer, you have to do tests, right? Alcoholism is not like that. They're very set standard things that you are supposed to look for, and if they meet those criteria or some of those criteria, they are an alcoholic. Like that is it. That is what they are. That's it. Like that's how it is. And there's really, for her to complain and be like, why are you diagnosing me with things? I don't know what specific comments or what things people were diagnosing her with. So it could be that some of the things, like she mentions her blood work, which I only mentioned briefly in my other video because I just wanted to say, like, hey, like, it's impacting, like, your life physically, right? And your physical health. But I don't know if, obviously, if you're trying to, like, diagnose her with some, like, disease based on blood work you haven't seen, then yeah, that's probably a little much. But alcoholism is different and is not like cancer or an anxiety disorder or something like that, or high blood pressure or whatever you might diagnose her with based on that information. So I guess, so it's hard for me to know like what she's talking about and what she's basing those comments on. But girl, people can diagnose you with alcoholism based on her video and based on what's in the DSM.
They have like my family history type thing. It was just kind of like, you know, but I also understand that everybody can only leave comments and judge out of their own perspective. Really what this all comes down to is I just want you guys to approach my videos with kindness and understand that I'm putting my...
All right, so she's like, people make these videos, people have their opinions based off of their own perspective. And they're like, yes, their perspective of being sober, getting sober, hopefully having some professional help, and actually knowing what they're doing. Whereas her experience is, I'm an active addiction and I haven't quit drinking. Wow, well then you probably don't know what the fuck is going on. You probably can't even see straight right now. Like, honestly, like, for her to be like, I know everything because I'm an active addiction makes absolutely no sense. Just literally none.
Out there in such a raw, vulnerable way, and I am sharing the moments that no one ever wants to share and no one ever wants to expose. At the end of the day, you guys literally only see like 25 minutes of my life once a week or every other week. Like, really think about that. And there's been a lot of judgment the past couple...
So she wants her friendly response, which is another way of saying that, or kind response or whatever, like another way of saying like she doesn't want to hear the truth. Like basically, if you want to tell her the truth, you want to tell her something she doesn't want to hear, she doesn't want to hear it. And that's not how the world works, okay? I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you, here to tell you what you want to hear to hear happiness. Like, I don't know what she wants. Like, don't talk about this if you don't want to hear the truth. And then she's like, well, why are people judging me? Because you went on camera, you talked about your alcohol problem, and then you sat there and explained to us how it's not a problem. That's literally what she does every single video. It's like, I have an alcohol problem. I don't have an alcohol problem. I have an alcohol problem. I don't have an alcohol problem. That's what she does. It's like every video. And it's just like ridiculous. And yet she considers that judgment because we're judging her for... Like, I'm not judging you and saying you're a horrible person because you have an alcohol problem. I'm saying you're approaching it wrong. That's different.
Videos, and I'm like, whoa! It's so interesting because the amount of people who have been emailing me, DMing me, even writing to my P.O. box, like mailing me letters, thanking me for being so open and transparent is the reason that I am doing this.
And this is really sad, and I honestly feel bad for the people that believe her and listen to her and think that she's like being genuine or whatever the fuck she's being. Like, I literally, I feel bad. Like, you see them in the comments and I'm like, oh my god, I am, this amount of years sober, and I really appreciate you talking about this. I'm like, girl, Jaclyn Hill is not sober. Jaclyn Hill does not want to be sober. Jaclyn Hill has taken no steps to become sober. Like, and it's so embarrassing and horrible for these people because they're putting themselves out there and they're saying, hey, I'm sober, I'm doing this, and they're like thinking like that's gonna help her, and really all she's doing is laughing at you, because she's like, haha, I'm not like you, I'm not an addict like you, I don't have to get sober, ha ha ha, you are so stupid for posting that. I can sit here and do whatever I want. And it's like, it's just like, it's sad for those people, because those people are kind of putting themselves out there, and then she's just basically making fun of them, going, you're an addict and I'm not. And she's not going to read those comments and be motivated to get sober. She's just going to read them and go, I'm better than you, thank you, I'm helping you so much by sitting here and sharing misinformation, and I'm awesome. And literally, she's never gonna get sober because of those comments. So please, 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 human beings, stop commenting on her videos going, oh my god, good job, Jaclyn Hill. You really, good job for, spreading misinformation. I'm 10 years sober. And she's just gonna go, lovely, I'm never gonna be 10 years sober because I don't wanna be 10 years sober. So who cares? And now you just put that information out there and it's benefiting no one. So it's just, don't do it. She doesn't want to be sober. She doesn't want to get sober. She needs to hear the truth, not a bunch of bullshit about how sobriety is great, because she's not interested in being sober. So telling her that isn't going to help. She obviously doesn't want to be sober.
Crazy how many people struggle on all different levels with alcohol abuse. This entire journey of mine and opening up on camera has made me realize how not alone I am.
Okay, so I did want to mention this, which is that in the DSM, there are different levels of alcohol use disorder. However, there is no difference between alcohol abuse and alcoholism, meaning that if you abuse alcohol, you suffer from alcohol use disorder. So there's no oh, I abuse alcohol, but I'm not an alcoholic. That no longer exists anymore. So to keep repeating kind of the same things that were said in the DSM-4 and not the current DSM is just not true.
As well in this, you know what I'm saying? Because there's all different levels of alcohol abuse, but alcohol abuse is alcohol abuse. And whether you need to go through a detox program, or you need AA meetings, or you need rehab, or if you need to go to a doctor, you need to get put on different medications you can take out there to help with withdrawals, whatever level of alcohol abuse that you are at, or addiction, whatever it may be, it is just so insane to me how many people struggle.
So again, she talks about different levels and how different people need different things. And I do agree. Some people need medication, some people don't. Some people might benefit from AA, some people don't. I could go on a whole rant about how I don't really think AA helps people. It never really helped me personally. However, that's different than saying I don't need to go to rehab, I don't need to go to detox. That to me is just an excuse for her. You need to go to detox, and the only reason you haven't done it is because you can't imagine not drinking for a whole week. And that's pathetic, and that is on you. And you need to stop telling us that you don't want to go to detox, because all that means is I don't want to not drink for a week, because any normal person could easily do that and not have a problem. So yeah, if you cannot drink for a week and not need to go to detox, then yeah, maybe you don't need to go to detox. But the reality is you can't do that. And then she uses the same excuse with rehab. I don't need professional help. I'm like, okay, let me give you a little pro tip. Okay, every fucking bit of research that has ever been done on alcoholism indicates you need professional help. You need something. You can't just do this alone in your bedroom with your fucking drunk ass boyfriend and figure it out on your own. That's not how it works, and that's not what's done.
In some way or the other. I did not realize how prevalent it was. It's crazy to me that I realized just the last month or so is how much America is obsessed with alcohol. Everywhere you go, people are drinking. Alcohol is so praised and worshipped here that it's weird when I don't have a drink for people. Not my friends and family, because they fully encourage everything that I'm doing right now. But when I go to like, and I go out for tacos, and it's like I don't want to have a drink. It's kind of like, oh, are you sure? And it's like, oh my gosh, like America is obsessed with alcohol, and it's like it's encouraged to drink all the time. But what I'm getting at is it's just insane to me how many people have reached out to me thanking me, and also influencers who, of course, I never would name.
All right, so here she goes, and she says America is obsessed with alcohol, which I do agree partially. But I also question it because I've been to other countries and I feel like they're way worse. I mean, Britain is like way worse. You can like drink in public in England and in Britain and like you won't get arrested. It's not against the law. There are like way more pubs and bars in like other, countries. Like it's just different. So I do question like we're obsessed, but we're not crazy, okay? We're not, like, insane. So, I don't know. I question that. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's not a problem, and it is. And I do feel pressured to drink when I'm out and when I'm doing, And that is annoying, and that is terrible. And I've learned to deal with that, but, like, I wouldn't say that we're, like, the worst country when it comes to drinking. I just, I wouldn't say that. But anyway, but I do agree that people do tend to like push alcohol on you and it's very uncomfortable. But she's like, "Oh, people drink like it's like you're encouraged to drink all the time." Like being told like asked, "Oh, do you want to drink while you're eating a meal?" is different to me than being like told like, "Oh yeah, I want to drink all the time." Like do you want to drink with your breakfast? Do you want to drink now at noon? Like I don't know. I don't know if it's happening with her, but like I just feel like it's like different when you go to a restaurant and they say, "Would you like a drink with your meal?" which is normal in most cases, compared to like, "Do you want a drink with like, do you want to drink all the time?" Like I don't know what she means by all the time because normally drinking while you're eating isn't considered alcoholism unless you're drinking like way more than you're eating. Like obviously that's a problem, but like it's just I'm not sure. Like I agree, yes, but I think for most people I don't know. I think the one thing I will say about that is that I do agree. I think drinking is a big problem for university students in the US, absolutely. Um, I don't really know about other countries because again, I don't live in other countries. I'm not a college student in other countries, but I will say that I do think alcohol is a problem for university students in the US. But aside from that, like I can't say like, oh yeah, like I really think that like the normal population is an alcohol problem. Like yes, they do in a way, but they don't. Like I don't know. I don't know if she's ever been to other countries, but like I feel like just seeing the way other countries are, I'm like drinking is way worse there. Like to criticize the US is like, yeah, we have a problem, but we don't have a problem. Like we don't have like it's not like we have pubs everywhere you go. It's not like people can drink in public. There are rules, there are laws. Our DUI laws are way more serious, I feel like. So it's like I just wouldn't say that America is the worst.
But just influencers who've reached out to me being like, hey, I've been too scared to open up about this. I don't want to talk about it, but I struggle with the same thing. And, my husband struggles with this or whatever it may be. And it's just like people that you would never.
So, my message to the other influencers who are scared to talk about it would be you shouldn't be scared to talk about it, okay? Like, I'm not saying don't talk about your alcoholism. I'm saying be informed before you talk about it. Know what is factually correct, what you are supposed to do, okay, to help your alcoholism. Like, not help it, like, just be informed before you talk, okay? Don't come on here and tell me it's about willpower. That shows me you're not informed, you don't understand, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So just be informed. And if you're still in active addiction, probably not a good time to talk about your alcoholism and your alcohol problem because you probably have no idea what you're saying and no idea what you're doing. So my tip would be go get some professional help, do some research, and then maybe talk about it. But don't rush an active addiction like Jaclyn is doing to talk about something, because all that you're going to do is you're going to spew all this misinformation because you don't understand your problem and you don't understand your issue. And that is just really not a good approach to doing it. So, for the other YouTubers out there struggling, you can talk about it, just make sure you know what you're talking about, because if you don't, people are really going to be unhappy when a YouTuber who everyone is watching and who has such a huge audience is sitting there spreading misinformation. That's going to be a big deal. So just make sure you're informed and you're saying the right things.
Because their lives look so perfect online, and like that's their prerogative to share it or not, you know what I'm saying? But I am choosing to put myself out there in such a raw way, and I hope that you guys can come and approach that with love and acceptance and not judgment, because I'm really showing the ugliest parts of my life for you to keep it so raw. It's like when I start to cry, Jordan starts recording, or if I'm like really upset or really craving a drink, that's when we start recording, because we want to.
Okay, so this is one thing I will say is that, and I think she mentions this later on, is like, oh, I'm not always craving a drink. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if you're always craving a drink, if you're craving a drink 24/7, or if you're craving a drink for 1 minute in one video. It doesn't really matter. Like, in the end, if you ever crave a drink, ever in your life, ever on a daily basis, ever at all, you're an alcoholic. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts there. It's like normal people don't think about alcohol and obsess about alcohol every day. Normal people don't go, oh my God, I have to have a drink. I have to drink. Like, if you are even thinking about that, you're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter how many cravings a day that you have. Okay, if you have one craving, that's a problem, because people don't have cravings. And I will show you at the end of this video, I will go through the DSM's different guidelines and explain to you guys like the different things that make her an alcoholic, and you'll see amount of cravings is not on there.
Showing you what is 95% of my daily life, which is me just working and living my life and eating and exercising and whatever it may be, and not drinking and not talking about alcohol and not craving alcohol, because that's boring. That's not content. People don't want to see that, I just want to put that out there and kind of give you guys a little perspective on this right now, because I don't want to let it get carried away to the point that I don't want to film this anymore, because I know you guys enjoy these videos so much, and the feedback is just wonderful, and I'm very grateful for it. And also the community that I have built with you through this whole Jaclyn's journey has been amazing. That being said, the one thing that I need to get better at is recording my workouts, because I have been working out, I have been exercising pretty damn consistently, and I have not been recording it at all. So I need to get better at that. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna stop talking. I love you guys, and let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy. Hi guys. Okay, so my current mood is organizing and cleaning. That's always my current mood, but right now, like, I'm in this time period where I'm starting to feel like I'm kind of going like nuts in the head, because so much in my house is so unorganized, and I am such an organized person. Anytime I have like a free minute, that is what I'm doing right now to keep myself busy, and especially to keep myself away from making bad decisions as far as food and alcohol goes. I have just been...
Okay, so again, she's sitting here saying, oh, I'm working on my closet, I'm working on organization because I'm thinking about alcohol, because I'm trying to avoid thinking. Like, again, if you have to do something like that to avoid thinking about alcohol, you're an alcoholic. Like, this is the thing she doesn't get. It's like, normal people don't think about alcohol all day. Normal people don't have to do that, okay? Normal people, that's not even a concept. Like, they're not constantly thinking about that. And the fact that maybe you don't think about that 24/7 every ounce of the day, but you think about it every few hours, it doesn't really matter, because in the end, that exists. Normal people don't have cravings. Normal people, okay, don't need alcohol, don't think about alcohol that way. So if you're thinking about alcohol that way, you're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter if you think about it once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, okay? If it exists, if it's a part of your life, even if you think about having alcohol once a week, it doesn't matter, because you're thinking about it. Normal people having alcohol isn't something they're thinking about. It exists, but it's not like, oh, wait, when can I get my next drink?
Diving into the organization aspect of my house, I'm going to totally expose myself and show you guys some of the situations I'm currently working with. But at this moment, I don't have a personal assistant. I had Austin as my personal assistant for 5 years, and then we parted ways. Still great friends, mutual. We parted ways, and then brought on someone else, and that was temporary. Lasted like 8 months, I believe. We parted ways. So now I have an executive assistant, but I don't have a personal assistant. It sounds so like, oh man, like, oh, your little problems, you know what I'm saying? Like, but not having an assistant is just very interesting because of the fact that I do so much on my own. I'm the CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics, of Jaclyn Roxanne, and I'm currently starting another business, which is taking up so much time, and it's so much fun though, that on top of it, I am a YouTuber, okay? I'm a blogger, beauty blogger, if you will, like vlogger, whatever you want to call it. And then of course I have my personal life, so it's just a lot. And I gotta I'm trying to find the time to do everything right now.
So I will say this, when she goes off and she talks about, all the things that, she's doing and all the things, the companies that she owns and stuff, I would be very cautious when you're in recovery doing kinds of things like that. Like, I feel like instead of growing one strong brand, she just wants multiple brands, multiple things, and it's a little much. It's like she has problems with her cosmetics that she doesn't address. And then instead of addressing those and working on that brand and getting that brand to be the best brand it is, she just moves on to the next thing, the next brand, which is also problematic in many ways. I haven't personally tried out her jewelry, but I've heard that it's not very good quality. So it's like she needs to just focus on one thing instead of just focusing on multiple brands, doing a mediocre job, and it doesn't matter because she's Jaclyn Hill, and she's gonna get a lot of people to buy her shit anyway. Like, it's just, she needs to focus on one thing at a time.
So it's Friday, and tomorrow is Jordan's 28th birthday. So we're doing 2 celebrations. We're doing one with family tonight, and a couple of friends, and then all of his friends, just his friends and no family tomorrow. Because I love to spread a celebration out. So I'm let's do a whole weekend thing. Right? Happy early birthday, baby.
Thank you, bud.
He wanted to come play golf. We got Mama here. And eat bar food. So that is what we're doing this lovely evening. I've got to show you on my vlog.
So again, this is a big problem, and I could do a whole fucking video on this and my problem with this kind of behavior. Is she's like, oh, my family, my friends, they support me, my boyfriend supports me. And honestly, I'm kind of shocked about this because her boyfriend did seem very supportive in the first video, but this just shows you he's just putting on a front, because drinking around someone, especially someone like her who's in her first stages of alcohol, addiction, and getting over that hurdle and still struggling not to drink, it's to drink around her is ridiculous. Now, I understand it's his party, it's his birthday. It's kind of for her to come in there and be like, hey, I don't want you guys to drink, is kind of ridiculous, even though they should be able to not drink. If you're such a shitty friend that you can't hang out with him unless you're drunk, then that's you have a problem. But I feel in that case, maybe it would just be good for her to say hey, boo, if you really want me to be there, great, I'll be there, but you can't drink. If you don't want me to be there, if you don't mind me not being there and you really want to drink, I will just not go and you can hang out with your friends. And that's what I would do. With all of that said, I don't want to blame him entirely, because I do feel she's not taking her alcoholism seriously. She even said, in her other video, she still wants to drink to relax and have fun or whatever. So it's in that case, it's I feel when you say that, it's I understand if the boyfriend's going to continue to drink around you, because you're not really telling him, Like, it's like she's always changing her mind. She's always behaving in different ways. So he feels like he's doing the right thing because that's what she tells him. So I think in this case, it's really more Jaclyn's fault for putting herself in this situation than her boyfriend's fault. And I don't know how much his friends know about her problem, though I assume they would mostly know because they probably watch her videos, but who knows? So that is my message. And yeah, I have a huge problem with this. I think, just aside from Jaclyn personally in the personal situation, I think people who can't not drink around people who are sober have such a problem with alcohol and are disgusting. And yet there are people who won't do it. I had a ex-boyfriend. We would go to family functions, and even though he was the kind of drinker that would get very triggered by people who drink, like, he could not turn down a drink. Like, if you offered him a drink, he was going to take it, okay? If you're at, like, a restaurant and a waiter comes and says, hey, would you like the drink menu? He was going to fucking take that drink menu. And he was also the kind of person who would get the shakes whenever he couldn't drink. So, like, literally, he was like a major alcoholic, and yet his family would not drink around him. They had to drink around him. Like, they couldn't not drink. They literally, like, not drinking was not a concept for them. It was so messed up, and I don't want to make this about him, although I could make many videos about him. That's my problem, is like when you have a really serious alcoholic, which I admit Jaclyn does not seem to be on the level that my ex was, although she's still very bad. For you to consistently drink around someone who is an alcoholic and who's trying to, like, not drink, like, that's just very rude to me, and I could just go off about that. I really hate when people do that. And I really, like, it really, really makes me mad because it's not hard. And if you're someone's genuine friend, if you genuinely care and love someone, you don't need to drink around them. You don't. Like, you don't need to do that if you, like the person. Why do you need to drink with them? Like, why is drinking important? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Also, I must say, for her to first criticize and be like, oh, America's so obsessed with alcohol. So, okay, I understand that. And then what does she do? She goes and she does what she complains about. She's like, America's so obsessed with alcohol. And then she encourages her boyfriend to basically, like, taking an event, like playing golf, which shouldn't be a drinking event. That shouldn't be, the priority should not be, let's get drunk. The priority should be, let's celebrate your birthday and play golf. And what does she do? And what do? They have to involve alcohol. Like, that's her problem. Like, that's the issue. It's like, you're complaining about America being obsessed with alcohol, but then you're participating in that obsession by adding alcohol to every event, no matter what it is. Like, that's a problem. Also, as someone who mentioned pills and her kind of acting like she was better than them in her previous video, and I kind of mentioned that I didn't like that. For her to make the Tums joke, like, I get it, it's a joke, but it was really not funny. It's like, boo, that's like not joke material, okay? You don't, first of all, why are you taking Tums? Second of all, it's just not funny, and her way of, like, kind of, like, being like, oh, like, you do pills, but I'm better than you, like, that is just so wrong, and I really don't appreciate her making jokes about it and talking about it like that. Like, it's not funny, and that's really just like, no, you're not better than us, okay? You're worse, actually, but whatever.
guys, and happy Jordan's birthday. Happy Saturday. It is Jordan's 28th birthday today.
So I did want to say that I do feel like she does attract like certain kinds of guys that are addicts and have problems. We all know her previous, like her husband, her first husband, was an addict, had drug problems, whatever. And I feel like she chooses the same kind of guy. Because I feel like ultimately he knows she has an alcohol problem, and yet he continues to drink around her and doesn't even question his relationship with alcohol, which is questionable because why do you have to drink around your girlfriend who just said that she's trying to cut down on her drinking? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. I just think she attracts kind of the same kind of people who are like addicts and kind of have this like druggy kind of addict behavior, and I think that doesn't help her. I think she needs to find a new kind of guy who's not like that, who is like her and, you know, is starting, you know, a business and isn't like him, who just seems a little insensitive to her issues.
In bed, I'm drinking a cup of. We have reservations for a lunch in like an hour. I'm not even gonna put on makeup for that. We went to Top Golf last night and had so much fun. It's just something that I would never want to do, like for myself personally, but obviously it's his birthday. We ended up having such a good time. So we did a birthday party there for like our family and a couple of friends, and then tonight just his friends are coming over for like a game night. They wanted to do pool volleyball. It's very sports.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense because she mentioned before how her family and friends and everyone like completely understood that she wasn't going to drink, and supported her by not drinking, and then what do? They go off and they drink around her. Like, what? Like, obviously they're not supporting you. Like, I don't know what is so problematic, and this is the thing, I think she just associates with so many alcoholics and people that she never thinks like, oh, you know, this is wrong. Like, their behavior is wrong, okay? Like, how hard is it to not drink around someone? How fucking hard is it? Like, if your friendship with someone is nothing if you don't drink with them, then obviously you shouldn't be friends with them.
But it's going to be like pouring rain and thunderstorming. So instead, they're, I think, going to do like video games and stuff like that. And I'll just be here with the food and the cake. But yeah, so it was a great night. Came home and just enjoyed the rest of the night. Went to bed around like 2 o'clock. We were just talking all night. Woo! But anyways, that's it. I will check in with you guys later. Hopefully Jordan has a great birthday today and we are off to lunch.
Talk to me.
Oh my gosh, so much meat.
Oh yeah, come on.
My plate is like just a tiny bit of meat and all the sides. And you, of course, all the meat.
All the meat.
This is one of his favorite places in Tampa, Four Rivers. Or is it Four Rivers Smokehouse? Four Rivers, it's the best.
A lot of rivers.
My plate, like where's the meat? That's it, that's the only meat. And the rest of it is just condiments, but no rules tonight. All right, guys, instead of singing happy birthday and blowing out candles this year, we're going to sing happy birthday and then take a shot. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so this is like pathetic. Like, honestly, you need to just dump your boyfriend at this point, because she literally just said instead of having a cake and blowing out candles after singing happy birthday, we're gonna take a shot. Like, what? Like, are you for real? Like, are you a fucking, like, what? Like, that's not even funny. Like, that's disgusting. Like, not even just, like, it, like, yeah, that's disgusting, like, in reference to her having a problem personally and them drinking around her and being so disrespectful of that. But it's also, like, who does that? Like, who fucking does that? Like, you're such an alcoholic. Your friends are such alcoholics that you can't even blow out candles because your first thought is, I want to drink. Like, that is so sad and so pathetic. And honestly, his friends, to be quite honest with you, just look like a bunch of drug addicts and druggies and people who have to need to get sober themselves, and it's pathetic. And to be hanging around these people who are constantly drinking and constantly doing their thing when you're trying to get sober, it's like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, you complain on one hand that America has a problem with alcohol, and then you contribute to the problem by behaving like this. Like, it's so disgusting, and it's really, really gross. And I am fine with social drinking, but that's not social drinking. That's fucked up. Okay? Normal people have a cake and they blow out the candles when they say happy birthday, and that's how it goes. If you need to take a shot after saying happy birthday to yourself, I don't know if your next birthday will come. I'm not sure, because that's fucked up. Okay? That's not funny. That's not hilarious. That's fucked up. So I don't really find that to be funny. And then she goes on to say that it's his 28th birthday, which I am definitely younger than 28, although I think my brother is around that age. But it's like, you're 28, you're literally older than me. You're way out of college age. You're literally almost 30, and you're behaving like a fucking buffoon. Like, you're literally acting like a child. Like, who drinks this much? Who acts like this? Who behaves like this? Like, you're 28. Grow up. Become an adult. Start making babies. I don't know. But, like, I hope you're not acting like this when you're fucking 50, because it's messed up. Like, just grow up. Just grow up and mature. And honestly, he seems like a very immature person for 28, which is not surprising, because people who start drinking when they're young are very, very immature people. But just, I don't know. I've never liked him. I really don't like him now. I think he put on a great facade in the first video, and now I really have nothing nice to say about him. I think he's very disrespectful of her, does not listen to her about her problems, and certainly does not support her in recovery. And that is really just a no-no. And I think she just needs to start dating other kinds of guys. Stop going for these guys with piercings and in bands and these cool guys who are like, ooh, I'm a drug addict. Like, you need to start dating someone else.
Very good shot.
And also, I will note, I do remember last time she did mention that her dad was an addict, and I think this is a big issue. People, if they have a parent like that, especially a dad, a father figure who is an addict, they're going to look to marry someone who's going to represent that father figure, who's going to be like their dad. So if her dad was a drug addict with drug problems, who's she going to date? People with drug problems, because that's what she believes is normal behavior. That's what she believes a guy should act like, okay? Yeah, no. There's a reason that your relationship with your dad was rocky and that did not end well. Like, okay? Like, just don't date the same person. Learn from your parents' mistakes, and don't date a guy who's gonna have drug issues.
What the is that?
Again, and this is a thing that I don't think people, when they're drunk, understand. When you're drunk, like, they think, like, oh, I'm just loud, like, I'm so funny, and it's like, no, like, to a normal, sober person viewing this video now afterwards, which, by the way, what fucking idiot told her to have drinking in the same video that you're talking about getting sober and changing your life? Like, that's hilarious. Like, that someone actually told her to put those things in the same video. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Probably another one of her fucking drunk-ass decisions. But regardless, when people are drunk, they don't understand how they look to a sober person. And to a sober person, to a person who is not drinking at the moment, you look, the friends just look immature. They're loud, they're annoying. If you behave that way in a restaurant, I'd be like, hey, can you please leave, because you're bothering me. Like, stop it. Like, just stop. Like, if you had drunk reasonably, and if you weren't a fucking bunch of drunks, you wouldn't be acting this loud and this repulsive. Like, it's disgusting. And it's really, like, childish and such a turnoff. Like, I don't know why she's attracted to, like, childish people, but, like, that kind of, like, childish, we're a bunch of frat guys. Like, you're not, like, you're 28, like, grow up, dude. Like, it's disgusting.
Not real, but
Fake! Yes, I with the. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Here. Okay, so this can only happen at night when it's dark out?
not full moon, full moon.
Yes, full moon. We are going to play tennis for real, like on the actual courts. It's a great workout. It's a great exercise. I love it. I used to play when I was younger, so it's really fun. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to do more often. It's not just walking on a treadmill and weightlifting and Pilates and stuff like that, but something that's actually fun that doesn't feel like working out, but it's still a good exercise. You are so aware of our surroundings right now. You're literally like,
I know, I'm like a damn golden retriever. Running some doubles. Got the friends back there. Burning some
first
calories.
game.
Yeah, took the L.
yeah, I'm already very out of breath, very sweaty. In makeup, which is not something I suggest.
Yeah. She's playing the back, and she's getting a lot more action than me, so she's burning more calories. We're both running our Apple Watch.
Look how frizzy my hair is. Ooh,
Frizz City.
I feel good. Do you feel good?
Oh,
He's
feel so
focused.
I actually feel less sore than last time.
Yeah, me too. I cannot wait to shower. Wash my face.
I don't know how your makeup still looks so damn good.
Damn.
I told you it looked good.
It still does look good. I mean, like, I could go out.
That's that long lasting.
Mm-hmm. And I sweat my ass off. Look how frizzy my hair is.
Oh,
Looks like it actually low-key got better.
Show them.
You hit it.
1K.
1,000 calories. Burned.
Backwards, whatever.
Good. Good job,
yeah.
baby. Woo! That was our first time ever doing that together.
I loved it. I mean, that.
Enlist and earn up to a $50,000 bonus.
That, like, filled my cup.
Oh, no, I love.
All right, so I'm not trying to, like, criticize her for, you know, trying to burn calories and trying to, like, you know, lose weight, whatever. But I do kind of, I don't appreciate when people, like, drink a lot and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna go burn my calories by doing some athletic activity. Like, it's kind of like, or you could just not drink those calories in the first place. Like, to me, like, especially that's on him. Obviously, I'm assuming she didn't drink, although she probably did, but whatever. Like, the point is, that just kind of, like, I don't appreciate that. Like, if you're gonna be healthy, don't be half healthy.
I had
I'm
so
like,
much
what
fun
can I
with
cook
you.
for you for the rest of your life?
He was like weirdly impressed. He was
No, you
all
were
night.
bomb.
He's like, oh my god, you're so good, and I am not good.
Better
you
than
guys.
me.
I did play for
Damn, my
years
hips.
when I was. You want me to help work that out?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Guess what?
What?
One of the best birthday presents I could have asked for. Tom Brady comes out of retirement.
Tom Brady.
Tom, you heard me out. Appreciate the present, man.
Yep.
Giselle, let's lock in.
We'll see you at the
Meet
dog
with
park. We'll see you at the dog park.
The dog park. You know where you live.
What were you saying?
I'm saying you need to exercise some self-discipline and just not let yourself read those comments. If it's going to discourage you, I mean, what good does that bring to you? You know, people are making assumptions and statements off of very little information that they have on your life. So it's like, you can't get mad. People are going to assume things.
So he repeats that, you know, oh, they haven't seen every part of your life, so they can't possibly know anything about it. And the thing is, no therapist, when they talk to you, no person who diagnoses you with anything knows every little detail about your life, okay? You don't have to have a body camera image or a video of every moment of your life for somebody to diagnose you with something. All they need to know are the diagnostic criteria that I will review at the end of the video. They don't need to know every little thing that ever goes on in your life.
The thing is I would like to talk about it because I keep so much, like, I am so honest in all of the videos, but at the same time, I don't want to give too much information because then it opens up, like, a whole other window for people to, like, be even more judgmental. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, I've been sitting here obsessing. I'm like, do I talk about the fact that, like, I don't want to say her name on camera, but, like, do I talk about the fact that, like, I reached out to Dr. V, full on, like, talk to her about this exact thing. And do I talk about how like also like how Dr. Al like talked to him about this, like the people that I've actually talked to and reached out to and been like, hey, this is what I'm going through, like, do I need help? Do I need professional help? Do I need medication? Do I need rehab? Do I need AA? Do I need support groups? Like, where am I at? What do I need? Because my anxiety was so high about it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So this girl, and I don't know, first of all, I think if you are a celebrity and you have a ton of money, you really have to be suspicious of each and every person in your life who claims things. I think she just pays doctors to tell her what she wants to hear. I don't think that they're actual, genuine, honest doctors who are telling her the truth. And even if they believe they are giving her the correct advice, which anyone who tells her she doesn't need rehab and she doesn't have a problem with alcohol is just completely and utterly false and doesn't understand anything about alcoholism. So that brings me to my next point, which is that unless she is going to a person who is a professional who understands alcoholism, who specializes in alcoholism and addiction, she's not going to the right person, and she's not going to somebody who understands and who's going to be giving her the right advice. Going to your primary care physician and asking them about addiction is like asking them about cancer. They don't have any specialty in that. They don't have any experience in that regard. They're going to have no idea what to say. It is simply not going to work, and you're not going to get the correct information, which is why you need to either go to a doctor who specializes in addiction or a therapist who specializes in addiction. And I'm telling you that most doctors don't really know anything about addiction. That's why we have the opioid epidemic, because they didn't know anything about addiction. All they knew was how to prescribe pills for people's pain. They didn't even know how to treat pain. They had no idea. So going to them and asking them, hey, can you give me some advice on my addiction? They're not going to know. They're a basic physician. They know how to treat a cold and the flu, okay? They don't know how to treat addiction. That's not in their field of interest. And then, even then, if you go to a therapist, most therapists, again, don't specialize in addiction. In fact, most therapists won't even deal with people who have addictions to alcohol and other drugs. So again, you need to find a therapist who specializes in that. You can't just ask any old doctor, any old therapist for advice as though they're going to know what to say or what to tell you. But I think most importantly, unless she's going to these doctors and completely lying to them about the reality of her situation, any genuine doctor, any genuine good person would never tell her that she didn't have a problem and she didn't need to go to rehab. Okay? Anybody who tells you that you're not an alcoholic and you don't have an issue doesn't understand addiction and is really, really doing you a disservice by not telling you the truth. And that is really sad, but that seems to be the reality of her life right now. And I would just say, be very suspicious about who you're talking to, because I think a lot of people in her life are enablers, and they're just going to tell her what she wants to hear because she's Jaclyn Hill, and they don't want her to go away because then they won't make any more money. So it's the perfect storm, because she's basically never going to hear the truth.
You just leave it alone. Because you know as well as I do, you've been through this 150 times before, you're going to put out something that you think defends you and shows your side of the story and, will like shut everything up, and it won't, and it's just going to piss you off even more.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know who is editing her videos or if she is editing them or what, but the idea that you're going to post a video where you show, on one hand, you saying I have an alcohol problem, and on the other hand, you taking shots with people on your boyfriend's birthday. Like, if that seems like a good idea, you don't have the brain to understand why it's not a good idea. Like, I don't understand how she thought that if she posted something like that it was going to present her well and that people weren't going to complain. I just think it's utterly amazing and just shows me she has no idea what she's talking about. She is it's actually insane to think about.
It's just gonna make even more people talk.
Yeah. I feel like it was a mistake talking about alcohol in the first
It wasn't. I mean, talking about it on a public platform for millions of people, yeah, maybe that was,
Yeah, maybe that was.
It might not have been the wrong decision, but it definitely was not the easy decision.
There's been a couple of comments just being like coming from,
I crack a beer.
Yeah, you're one. Coming from an alcohol.
Okay, I actually didn't notice that part the first time that I watched this video. So, again, I've kind of addressed what she had just stated before. I'm not going to talk about it again. But again, like, he really just shows that he has no support for her at all when it comes to controlling her drinking or talking about. I mean, he's sitting there talking about her alcoholism, and then he feels the need to drink a beer while talking about this. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, why are you drinking to have a serious conversation with someone who's going to be your wife? Why is that a concept? Like, it's like people who have to drink alcohol to be with their significant other. Like, Jesus, maybe you shouldn't be with them if that's how your life is, because I don't know why you're even with them in the first place. So again, that just shows me he's very disrespectful of her, and it's not funny, it's not hilarious, it's really disturbing behavior, and it's really disgusting behavior. And I really think that, I don't know, I would tell her this, like, he is just not a good person. He needs to, like, she really needs to get him out of her life. He's not there for her. He doesn't care about her problems. He's not going to give her the correct advice. He's just a guy who's 28 years old and an immature 14-year-old at heart. And he's never going to give her what she needs to hear. And he's never going to tell her the truth. And let me tell you something, okay? If a guy, and I think I read this in one of the comments to the video, is that if someone's just telling you yes and telling you what you want to hear, they don't genuinely love you and they don't genuinely care about you, okay? If someone just gives you whatever you want to hear and just tells you, yes, you're right, and never ever questions you and never questions what you say, they're not interested in actually helping you, because a real true husband would tell you the truth and what you need to hear, not what you want to hear and what will make you feel good. And that's just the reality of it. And she just needs to get rid of people like him in her life. And I don't think she's capable of it, because I think she lives in such a toxic environment where people just tell her what she wants to hear so they can get money, that I don't think she's ever going to understand what she needs to do to truly help herself. And it's so sad and it's disgusting that he feels the need to drink to talk about a serious conversation. I don't even have the words for that. Like, honestly, I think he's an alcoholic, and I think the reason that he will not help her is because he himself has an alcohol problem, and if he was actually going to help her, he would have to actually, like, not drink around her, which he seems to struggle with deeply.
Who's been through this and yada, yada, yada. It's like so sad to see that Jaclyn's about to hit rock bottom. And there's been a couple of comments talking about how, like, it's obvious I'm about to hit rock bottom. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm not showing the right things on camera, because it's just like, this is the best I have felt ever since I first started drinking. Oh, and also, I was looking at the calendar today. It's literally been 2 years and 3 months since I started. Sorry, 2 years and 8 months since I started drinking, since my lipsticks. But I don't know, but seeing those comments get in my head, I'm like, wait, am I about to hit rock bottom? Like,
all right. So first of all, for her to say, and I understand she was kind of saying, oh, it's been this many years since I started drinking, like, heavily, which I don't even agree with, because she's done videos way, way, way before her lipsticks where she has done like drunk get ready with me's. So you were abusing alcohol even then. So don't give me shit about how, you just started drinking heavily in the past few years. That's just false. I think to act like, this just occurred, she just woke up one day and this happened is not true. But then she talks about rock bottom. Do I think she's hit her rock bottom? Absolutely not. I don't think she's hit it. Do I think she's gonna hit it soon? No, to be honest, I really don't. I think for her, rock bottom will be a long, long time from now. Now, that she's gonna take that as, oh, great, then I'm fine, and I'm gonna continue to live my life the way I've always lived it. Like, no, you shouldn't have to hit rock bottom to make a change in your life. The idea that, you should wait till you're in jail to try to fix your life is ridiculous and just so stupid and is not going to help you. But I don't think she's going to reach rock bottom for a while, because I think everybody in her life has provided her a bunch of pillows, so she never actually is to feel the consequences of her actions. And I also feel like she's one of those people that no matter how many failed launches she has, it will never be rock bottom enough for her. There will never be a moment where she thinks, gee, maybe I've done too much. Because to me, rock bottom is when you get to a point where you've decided, I'm going to completely cut out drinking and I'm actually going to make a change in my life. And she's nowhere near that point in her life. She's nowhere near the point where she's decided that she's never going to do something again. That's not even like in her brain yet. So the idea that she's about to hit rock bottom, or that she's already hit it, or that any of this, no. She's probably never going to hit it. I've dealt with people who have hit rock bottom in the sense that most people, their actions would have changed their life. But unfortunately, in the case of some people's lives, nothing is enough for them. Nothing hits them enough. Nothing gets them thinking, gee, maybe I have an alcohol problem. Maybe I have an issue. Maybe I have to stop. I had an ex who literally nothing would ever change him. He could go to jail. He could get into a DUI. He could literally be shaking because he didn't have alcohol in his system. And yet that wasn't enough for him to make a change in his life and to quit drinking. Nothing will ever be enough for him. So I think she's one of those people who it's probably never going to happen, or if it does, she'll be in a grave. Because I think for her, she just doesn't seem capable of seeing the connection between her failed launches and her not responding to people's complaints about her products, and the connection between that and her alcohol use.
Even be close to hitting rock bottom. Like, I feel so good right now, and I feel like my relationship with alcohol has gotten so much better.
Yeah,
like,
but
insanely.
yeah, the issue is people don't know what your relationship was with alcohol.
Yeah.
You don't talk about that because.
I know. Being on the internet's so hard. It's so hard. I hate it.
But yes, you've made leaps and bounds.
Thanks, baby.
That's why these comments, I'm just like, I don't even care, because again, people are making assumptions and statements off of very, very little information. Like, they don't live with you. They don't know your day-to-day life. They don't know anything besides what you post on YouTube.
Okay, so again, if the problem is that you're posting things on YouTube that aren't representatory of your life, then don't post them on YouTube, okay? Like, don't post something on YouTube that makes you look like you have a serious alcohol problem if that's not really what you're thinking and that's not really the reality of your life. That's your fault. And again, you don't need to have a video. You don't need to know every detail of somebody's life to know that they have an alcohol problem. I'm just so tired of hearing this false narrative. Like, you have to sit there. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. No doctor is ever going to know everything you do in your life every single day, every minute of the day. That's not how it works, okay? You're diagnosed with something based on the things you tell them, based on the reality of what you're doing, not based on the fact that they've seen every detail of your life.
Yeah.
That's why there's no point in addressing it.
As I'm recording this.
In order for you to address it, you're just gonna have to expose more about,
Me.
you and what you're. Yeah, 100%. And I just feel like that just opens you up to more criticism about shit that you're already done and over with. So it's like, what's the point?
I know, like even like the comments of like, Jaclyn, why haven't you sought out help? Why haven't you asked other people for help? Why haven't you contacted, X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, when did I say that I haven't?
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks. So, I don't know.
I don't think it's that she hasn't contacted people or hasn't gone to people. I think it is more so, as I said before, that she hasn't contacted people who are going to tell her the genuine truth, who are not going to enable her behavior. She hasn't gone to people who specialize in alcoholism and understand it. And also to me, I think constantly refusing to go to rehab shows me that she is not ready to hear the truth, because I think she knows in her heart that if she were to go to rehab, people are likely not going to treat her like a royal celebrity. They're going to tell her the truth, and it's not going to be a truth she wants to hear. And I think that's what she's scared of, and that's why she's not going to rehab. And so I think she's just trying to find people in her life who are going to tell her what she wants to hear instead of what she needs to hear.
Just make assumptions. I think that people want you to, they think they know every single detail.
100%.
Ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay.
Good pasta. Some pasta de fail.
Baby. That seriously slaps. Oh, it's so good.
All right, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope she doesn't make another video on this topic, because she's just spreading misinformation and she's hurting people. And the people in the comments that say she's helping, it's like, she's not helping anyone. She's just hurting people because she's spreading misinformation. And the only reason people think she's helping them is because she's telling them what they want to hear, which is that they don't have a problem with alcohol. And that's wrong. So, I would just say, Jaclyn, please, please, please stop making these videos. Please get your help and just focus on other things. Don't take something that is a disease and try to explain it to us or spread misinformation about it. It's wrong and it's disrespectful to people who are actually getting the help that they need and who are actually sober and serious about getting sober. So that is my video. I hope you enjoyed. I know I mentioned that I'm going to make other videos on my own life and I don't do them, but that's because I've been very, very busy with schoolwork, and the only reason I really focused on these videos is because obviously as time goes on, she'll either post more videos or her videos will become less relevant, so I want to make sure I get these up as soon as I can. But I will definitely be doing a video on my personal life. I was going to originally do a video where I talked about a person in my life who had recently died of a heroin overdose for his birthday, but then the person I was depending on to give me like pictures of him and to kind of help me put the video together disappeared. And we know that probably drug related. So because of that, I didn't make that video, but I still want to make a video on it. It'll be more talking and less picture based, which is sad, but the reality of my life. So anyways, but I hope you enjoyed, and bye-bye.